Welcome to this episode of Locked In. In this video, I'm going to be trying to see if I can make an 11-speed cassette work for my 10-speed Advent X, as well as push that max capacity rating of a 48 rear tooth cog all the way up to a 50 tooth with my Zito 9 to 50 tooth cassette. So if that's something you want to watch, please stay tuned. So in this video, I'm basically just going to be trying out to see if this setup works. I do have the appropriate length of chain put on the bike and the cassette basically just on there right now. I want to tune basically out the 11 tooth cog, which is the 9, so I will be losing that 9 tooth top end. But technically, if you wanted to do this, you could tune out the climbing gear, but the whole point of this video is obviously to see if the 50 tooth works, because again, it isn't rated to work. The reason being that I want to attempt this is I did have this spare 11-speed cassette laying around, and I did notice that 11-speed cassettes in this wide range are a lot cheaper and easier to get than it is in 10-speed. So if you have an Advent X group set, I do have a review of it that I will be putting in the description below, so if you're looking for a budget mountain or gravel or even commuter group set, please make sure to check that out. So I'm basically just going to be seeing if this will work. I know I can tune out that gear pretty easily, but the main thing I'm worried about is since the 11-speed cassette is obviously packing more gears in that tighter ratio, if the shifts will be as crisp because of that micro adjustment between them is a lot tighter, if it'll work and not hang up on either upshifts or downshifts. So let's tune this thing and see what happens. All right, so I'll probably have to redo the limits again since this is obviously going to space out the cassette a little bit more this way. Let's redo my limits. Let's go up the cassette. Whoop. I was going to adjust my limits for my climbing gear since this cassette's obviously out, and you can see it almost wants to throw it off of there. So I want to limit that. Put it back down. One more time, slowly. All right, so now let's see if the shifting gets any better going down. Still doesn't like that. Okay, so it seems like that's cable tension. All right, so it looks like we have it. Everything seems to be shifting good. I've kind of had to mess with the cable tension, V-limit, all the limits basically. But on the stand, it seems to be functioning properly, shifting reasonably quick throughout the whole cassette. Obviously, I'm gonna want to get this out on the trail and double check all my shifting, but it feels pretty good up here. Alrighty, so we're all wrapped up. This thing is shifting pretty well, and to be honest, I have ridden this around. It shifts great even under load, and because obviously whenever you do something in the work stand, make sure to go ride the bike and make sure that it shifts just as good on the trail as it does on the stand, and I've had no issues so far. This is a 11-speed chain. I forgot to mention that. I did swap it out from the stock one because I did need a little bit more length because I did actually cut it. So that is something I did add to it, but honestly with the 10-speed chain, I did throw it on there, just not on camera, and it seemed to shift totally fine. It was a little bit more noisy because obviously that chain's a little bit thicker, but it worked out well. In the climbing gear, it seems to be functioning fine, and I still have plenty of derailleur cage movement. It's not pulled up really tight and overly tightened, so I have enough chain slack as well as movement in the derailleur to feel comfortable. Now, this droop set has been pushed even farther from the Marin Gestalt. That bike comes with an 1151 Sunrace cassette. It is an OEM cassette, which means I didn't sell it to the mass market. I did have one Instagram follower send me a link for it. I don't know if that's still active. I'll put it in the description below if it still is. In my experience, it's a lot easier to find these 11-speed cassettes than the 10 in a 1150 or an 1151 for your standard Shimano hub bodies. So I think that this budget hack with a potentially pre-existing 11-speed cassette you may already have if you've upgraded to 12-speed, but this seems to work out pretty well, and again, might save you some bucks. Even though you're buying a new cassette, might be able to find a better deal on an 11-speed. And if not, I'll try to find an easy alternative either in 10 or 11-speed. Whatever is the cheapest, honestly, I'll put in the description below. So I hope you like this video. Please make sure to subscribe. If you have any more questions, please make sure to comment. I check them every single day, as well as turn notifications on so you can see all the cycling content I produce on this channel, as well as you can follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can support Locked In via my Spreadshirt Store with my Slow But Look Pro t-shirts, or Is My Bike Okay, as well as on Pateron, where I offer one-on-one cycling consultations every single month for my top 2 tier levels. And lastly, thanks for watching this episode of Locked In. Let's get